Hello, and welcome back to Life After the Family Home. Smart conversations about downsizing and planning the next chapter. Today's conversation is about something that many homeowners don't always think about: home equity and how it relates to downsizing. For many people, home equity is something they know exists, but don't actively think about. It's built up over time, through years of ownership, through paying down a mortgage, and through changes in the housing market. And for many homeowners, especially those who have lived in their homes for a long time, that equity can be significant. But what's interesting is that many homeowners don't always consider how that equity might be used or what role it could play in the next stage of life. This is something that real estate professional Skip Benton with Coldwell Banker in northern Nevada has seen come up often in conversations with homeowners. Not because people aren't aware of equity, but because they haven't connected it to lifestyle decisions. For many years, the focus was on building equity, owning the home, creating stability, and having a place for the family. But over time, the role of the home can begin to shift from something that supports a growing household to something that may hold more value than is actually being used. That's where the conversation begins, because home equity is not just a number. It's a resource that can create options. For some homeowners, downsizing allows them to access a portion of that equity, not necessarily all of it, but enough to create flexibility. Flexibility in how they live, flexibility in how they plan, and flexibility in how they use their resources. For example, a smaller home may cost less to maintain, less in utilities, less in upkeep, and in some cases, less overall financial commitment. That can free up resources that can be used for travel, for supporting family, or simply for creating a more comfortable financial picture. But beyond the numbers, there's also a lifestyle component, because when a home is larger than what is needed, a portion of that equity is essentially tied up in space that may not be used regularly. Unused rooms, unused areas, space that exists but doesn't contribute to daily life. Downsizing can shift that balance from maintaining unused space to creating a home that is more aligned with how you actually live. And in doing so, it allows homeowners to make more intentional use of their resources. Now, it's important to say, this isn't about maximizing profit or making decisions purely based on numbers, because for many homeowners, the decision is not purely financial. It's also emotional, it's also practical, and it's also about lifestyle. But understanding equity gives homeowners a clearer picture. It allows them to see the full range of options available and to make decisions that are informed, not just assumed. That's something Skip has seen make a real difference. When homeowners understand both the lifestyle and the financial side of downsizing, they tend to feel more confident, more prepared, and more in control of the decision. Another important idea is timing. Not in terms of trying to predict the market, but in terms of planning ahead. When homeowners begin this conversation early, they have more flexibility, more time to explore options, and more ability to make decisions that feel right, without urgency, without pressure, and without having to react to circumstances. Because when decisions are made under pressure, they can feel rushed. But when they are made with time, they can feel intentional. And that's really the goal. To approach downsizing not as something that has to happen, but as something that can be planned, thoughtfully, and at your own pace. So if you've ever thought about your home and wondered what role it plays in your future? That's a valuable question, because the home is not just a place to live, it's also part of your overall financial picture. And understanding that can open the door to new possibilities, possibilities that support your lifestyle, your goals, and the next chapter of life. Thank you for joining this conversation about life after the family home. Smart conversations about downsizing and planning ahead. And I'll see you in the next conversation.